Do you love design? On Driven by Design, we're having conversations with designers about how they got into the field, what they're working on today, and what they're thinking about for the future. Curious? Then get in. Hi, I'm John Hamilton, and this is Driven by Design. Today's guest is Cory Grosser.
Say hi, Cory.
Hi, glad to be here in Munich.
Where are you from?
I'm from Pasadena, California, and I have a studio in Old Town, Old Town's a pretty nice place.
How many kids do you have?
I have two, 8 and 5.
Wow.
2 girls. Firecrackers. They're definitely inspiring. They keep me moving.
Yes, that's a good question. So what inspires you? Like, where do you find your inspiration?
I think, as creative people, we tend to draw energy and inspiration from where we are. I suppose in a way my context is one of the main kind of motivators of inspiration for me.
So what's the thing that you want to do that you haven't gotten to do yet?
That I haven't gotten to do yet? Well, I think it'd be cool to work for an airline. I'd love to work for an airline.
Yeah, so what are you working on now?
We're doing a couple different architecture projects. We're doing a lobby of a building in Southern California that hasn't been touched since the early 70s, so it's a chance to kind of modernize this lobby. We're doing at a design studio for a car company, and we're doing a couple different furniture projects, designing rugs and lamps and chairs and sofas. Yeah.
But you were a product designer, right?
Well, I was trained as an architect first.
Oh, you were?
I was, and I went to architecture school, and I all I ever wanted to be was an architect since I was 4 years old.
Oh.
And then I got to architecture school in Buffalo, and I was like, wow, seems like in Buffalo at least, all the cool buildings were being designed by really old men, And I was like, I don't know if I want to wait to be old to design something cool. So I got into products because I thought I could do it then and now. I thought it was more immediate. I worked in construction for a couple years, saved up some money, and then went to Art Center in Pasadena, studied design, and started the studio right out of Art Center. And then about 5 years ago, we had an opportunity. We had been doing some product design for Disney and some design strategy, branding work for them. And they had a small space, and they asked if I could design it. And I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And that one kind of grew into another one, and they just kind of kept snowballing. So, the studio's kind of split 40% product design, 40% interiors, and 20% graphics and branding. We recently did a project where we got to kind of design everything or choose everything, at least down to the glassware for a pretty big office. After 16 years of doing this, there's so much you can, I think, learn from clients, and by listening and by, being flexible, and this idea that you always have it right and the client always has it wrong, I think is really misguided. And I think the role of the designer is becoming to be more empathic and to feel a little bit more. And I think that works out better when you listen. That's the key. We call our clients our partners because it really is a partnership in achieving kind of the end result.
Just trying to focus on the road.
I see that, yeah.
So you're still teaching at Art Center?
So I teach part-time at Art Center in Pasadena. I teach undergrad and graduate furniture and lighting, and then I teach what's called spatial branding. So that's kind of how architecture, interior architecture is shaped by brand.
Yeah.
And that to me is the role of design, is to think about how people feel when they're in a particular spot, whether it's office or retail or hotel, even at home. And design has the ability to do that. It can be a powerful tool for that.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like those things now are getting closer and closer to each other. You know, that the home is able to support more types of work.
Maybe that's our age, though. You know, like, I don't know. I mean, I wonder if a kid coming out of college, I think their expectations are, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but they might be so much different. They might be totally comfortable where you and I, because I'm with you, like I actually don't do work at home anymore at all. I stopped. But, it's more, I think I'm more focused on the kids, or, when I'm at home now, it's less, it's a little bit less about work. I think the future of the workplace has to support that, because that's the expectation, and that's, in a way, more natural. It's probably driven by our devices when you grow up with a phone in your pocket and the whole world is there. And one of the fears within the auto industry is that kids that are 18, they don't want cars. Not like when we grew up, I want a car because that's freedom.
Yeah.
They're not interested because the phone is freedom. If you grew up in suburban America like me, we would go to the mall and hang out and walk around the mall,
Yeah.
But that's totally changed.
When I was a kid, you discussed what car you want to have, and like whether you wanted a Camaro or a Jeep or a truck, or there was choices. But now, if you don't even really care about getting a car or even driving, because you can just call Uber, get a car, come get you.
You pick something, or you buy something based on kind of this at least partially based on a desire.
Yeah.
Like a want.
Yeah.
So I'm super interested in that, what that desire is about, and kind of that exchange. And I like my new phone. I mean, that's,
But did you need a new phone?
Yes, the button broke on my iPhone. Like I couldn't, the little button at the bottom, I couldn't do it. But it was like almost an existential crisis, switching phones.
Yeah, but it's an interesting question connected to what we're talking about, because you needed a new phone, but did you want that one that you got, or was it was on sale?
No, I got the one I really wanted, which wasn't the most functional choice. Truthfully, it was what I thought was the best designed phone.
How often do you make design decision purchases?
Quite a bit. Yeah, quite a bit.
Or you'll pay more to have the thing that's better designed.
I will. Yeah. Or I won't get it. I've met designers, and their house somehow is different than all of their things that they design.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
I would never do that. I think that's crazy to me. But that doesn't mean my whole life is designery. Everything is not. Everything is not a designed object. For me, it's become a lot more about psychology and culture, and it's more experience driven, I suppose. Technology is great, and to be able, this
is the modern
Oslinger's cube too, right? That's his loft cube.
Yeah,
that's cool. It's also cool, like we talk about 3D printing, or that anyone can print things now. That's also cool because it makes things a little bit more transparent, so things aren't locked away. So I think more people maybe appreciate product design as a job or as a profession. My high school guidance counselor wasn't say, hey, maybe you should be a product designer. But if they knew about it, maybe I would have. What a cool job. My daughter, she wants to learn video editing. She's 8. It's like I'm trying to help her. And I'm like, wow, I really don't know how to do this properly. And she's all frustrating with me. She's like, well, why can't you do this? I'm like,
I haven't watched the YouTube yet.
Right.
It's amazing to me now the access that we have to information, because when I was in school, you never had the idea of understanding really what an extruder was like, or a die casting was like, or some of these processes that we got taught about. Now you can just go watch a video of it, and you're like, oh, okay, that's how it works.
If I'm honest,
totally
that's
different.
one of my single biggest challenges as an instructor, I would say. Because I think you're talking about the positive part of that, right? But one of the challenges of that is that you can Google everything, right? And if you can't find it on Google, then it's like it doesn't exist. So it's a challenge to get the students to say, okay, well, you can't go on Yelp and find a welder. Get in your car, drive to the welder, learn. See, if you see the process in person and you talk to the welder, you're going to get so much more than if you just order it.
Yeah, what's your favorite object? What's the thing that you go, God, I love having
Me personally?
Yeah.
I think if you talked about a material object that meant the most to me, it would probably be my house itself. And it's not, it's not because it's the greatest house, and I didn't, design it from scratch, which I hope to do someday. But I think it's that I worked on it by room, with my own hands. Anyway, thanks, John. This was fun.
That's it for Driven by Design. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.